There is a problem with most camera reviews on the internet, and once you notice it, you cannot unsee it. The reviews are almost universally polite. The reviewer does not want to lose access to manufacturer review samples. The reviewer does not want to lose advertising revenue. The reviewer does not want to upset the brand loyalists in the comments. The result is a marketplace of reviews that say words like challenging, inconsistent, and may not suit every photographer, when the honest verdict would be that the camera is simply not worth the money it costs. This video is going to do what most camera reviews will not. Name the 5 cameras currently on sale that working professionals quietly tell each other to avoid. And then name the 5 cameras that consistently outperform their reputations and deliver more than the buyer pays for. Before we start, the methodology. A camera is not on the worst list because it is a bad camera in absolute terms. Almost every modern camera produces excellent images compared to what was possible 20 years ago. A camera lands on the worst list because it fails to deliver value at its current asking price, because it has design or ergonomic flaws that working pros find genuinely frustrating, or because the marketing claims are not supported by the real-world performance. A camera lands on the best list because it consistently delivers more than the price would suggest, holds up over years of working use, and earns recommendations from actual working pros rather than only from sponsored reviewers. So let us start with the 5 worst. Number 5 on the worst list is the Canon EOS R8. The R8 is marketed as a budget full-frame body, but the build quality, the single SD card slot, the limited buffer depth, the lack of in-body image stabilization, and the missing weather sealing all make it dramatically worse value than the older Canon EOS R6 Mark II at a similar used price. A first-time buyer attracted by the lower price point gets a camera that quickly reveals its limitations the moment the use case becomes serious. The body essentially exists to sell users into the more expensive Canon RF lens lineup, while delivering a stripped-down body experience. Number 4 on the worst list is the Leica SL3. The SL3 is an excellent camera mechanically. The build is gorgeous. The viewfinder is class-leading. The autofocus has improved meaningfully over the SL2. The reason it lands on this list is the price-to-performance ratio. At $7,000 for the body, the SL3 competes against the Sony Alpha 1 II, the Nikon Z9, and the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, all of which deliver meaningfully better autofocus tracking, higher frame rates, deeper buffer, and equally good or better image quality. The SL3 is paying for the brand, not the performance. For a Leica enthusiast committed to the SL system, it makes sense. For a working pro choosing between flagships, it does not. Number 3 on the worst list is the Sony Alpha 7CR. The 7CR packs the 61-megapixel sensor of the Alpha 7R-V into a smaller body, which sounds appealing on paper. In practice, the smaller grip is uncomfortable for any lens larger than a 35mm prime. The single SD card slot is a deal-breaker for working pros. The viewfinder is a meaningful step down from the larger bodies. The lack of dedicated controls forces menu diving for basic adjustments. The result is a camera that is difficult to recommend over the standard Alpha 7R-V for almost anyone who shoots seriously. If you are finding this useful so far, hit subscribe. We cover honest gear analysis, working pro insights, and the cameras the industry pushes versus the cameras pros actually buy every week, with upcoming videos on the most overhyped lenses, the underrated camera bags, and which camera bodies are quietly dying on used markets. Number 2 on the worst list is the Hasselblad X2D 100C. This is a controversial pick, because the X2D is a beautiful object that produces beautiful images. The reason it lands on this list is the price relative to alternatives. At $8,200 body only, the X2D costs roughly the same as the Fujifilm GFX 102, which has dramatically better autofocus, better video performance, faster shooting, deeper buffer, and a meaningfully larger lens lineup. The X2D is a luxury object first and a working camera second. Photographers who buy it for the medium format files are usually better served by the Fujifilm GFX system at the same money. Number 1 on the worst list is the Canon EOS R100. The R100 is the cheapest current Canon mirrorless body, and it shows in every spec. No in-body image stabilization. Limited 4K video with crop. Outdated dual-pixel autofocus from older sensors. A weak viewfinder. The price is appealing at around $500, but a used Canon R10 or R50 at the same price delivers a meaningfully better camera. The R100 is a marketing entry point, not a serious photographic tool. That is the worst. Now let us look at the best. Number 5 on the best list is the Fujifilm X-T5. At around $1,700, the X-T5 delivers a 40-megapixel APS-C sensor, in-body image stabilization, weather sealing, dedicated dial controls, and a full lens lineup of professional Fujifilm XF glass. The image quality is genuinely competitive with full-frame bodies costing twice as much. The build quality is durable. The ergonomics are universally praised by working photographers. The X-T5 has become one of the most recommended bodies in the industry for stills shooters who do not need cutting-edge video. Number 4 on the best list is the Sony Alpha 7 IV. At around $2,500, the Alpha 7 IV offers a 33-megapixel full-frame sensor, excellent autofocus, very good video performance, dual card slots, robust build, and access to the largest native mirrorless lens lineup in the industry. It is not the highest spec Sony body, but it hits the price-to-performance balance better than any of the more expensive options. Working professionals across genres consistently recommend the Alpha 7 IV as the right starting point for serious photography in 2026. Number 3. On the best list is the Nikon Z6 III. At around $2,500, the Z6 III pairs a partially stacked sensor with the same autofocus algorithm as the flagship Z9. Professional video options including 10-bit internal recording, excellent in-body image stabilization, and Nikon's reliable build quality. It hits genuinely flagship performance at a mid-range price. For a photographer who wants the Z9 experience without the Z9 price, the Z6 III is the most underrated camera Nikon currently sells. Number 2 on the best list is the OM System OM1 Mark II. At around $2,300, the OM1 Mark II delivers wildlife and bird photography performance that competes with bodies costing 3 times as much. The combination of 120 frames per second electronic shooting, computational pre-capture mode, weather sealing rated to IP53, and the small system kit weight has made the OM1 Mark II one of the most commonly seen cameras in working wildlife circles. The Micro Four Thirds sensor size is a real trade-off for landscape and portrait work, but for the genres where it wins decisively. Number 1 on the best list is the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. At around $4,300, the R5 Mark II is genuinely the best balanced camera on the market for working professionals who shoot multiple genres. The 45-megapixel stacked sensor delivers excellent stills. The 8K video performance is genuinely usable for production work. The autofocus has moved to industry-leading status with improved subject recognition, and the build quality and ergonomics are world-class. There are cameras that beat it in single categories. The Sony Alpha 1 II shoots faster. The Nikon Z9 has deeper buffer. The Fujifilm GFX delivers higher resolution. But for a working pro who needs one body that does almost everything excellently, the R5 Mark II is the camera that consistently earns its keep. That is the 5 best. The framework here is simple. The cameras that land on the worst list usually fail one or more of 3 tests. They cost too much for what they deliver. They have ergonomic or design flaws that working use exposes. Or they exist primarily to sell other products like lenses or system upgrades, rather than to be excellent in their own right. The cameras that land on the best list usually pass 3 different tests. They deliver more than the price suggests. They get recommended by working professionals across genres. And they hold up over years of use without revealing hidden flaws. Apply these tests to any future buying decision, and you will avoid most of the camera store mistakes that keep cameras flowing onto the used market within months of purchase. The marketing will keep pushing the latest body as essential. The reality is that the right camera is the one that earns its place in your bag through actual performance, not through the spec sheet promise. Thanks for watching. If you want more honest takes on the cameras working pros actually trust, hit subscribe and stick around.